Hello there, Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise here, and welcome to the third in what I'm pretty sure will just be a trilogy of videos with highlights from my travels through the exhibit hall at the 2017 GAMA trade show. Well, this time, let's wrap up my coverage of GAMA with a list of 20 things that caught my attention, presented in no particular order. All right, here we go. Number 20. Custom Heroes. Custom Heroes continues the card crafting lineage started in Mystic Vale. And like its predecessor, this trick-taking game utilizes plastic cards with marked sleeves that will modify the abilities of the cards within them. Now, I'm wondering, is this the next evolution in the card crafting subgenre? Or is this game just treading water until the eventual release of Edge of Darkness, which reportedly takes card crafting to the next level by using the card crafting mechanism as just one of many mechanisms within a larger game? Well, time will tell, but in the meantime, we'll have Custom Heroes. Number 19, After the Empire. At first glance, After the Empire comes across as yet another worker placement/resource management game set in the Middle Ages in which players will use worker tokens to gather resources, construct buildings, gain recruits, etc. And while all of that may sound like standard board game boilerplate, it was the unique player boards in which you literally build or maintain the walls of your kingdom that put After the Empire on the list of games that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Number 18, Pandemic Season 2. Well, just the boxes. The second season of Pandemic Legacy is just around the corner. And while the naming scheme and multiple boxes for each season still drive me crazy, I have to admit that this is one of the few games this year that I know I'll be buying sight unseen. Currently, Pandemic Legacy Season 1 is still the #1 ranked game on BoardGameGeek.com. And what I want to know is if Season 2 will have the chops to take its place. Number 17, Ignacy Mini Interview. During my wanders throughout the exhibit hall, I had the opportunity to have an impromptu 1-minute interview with Ignacy Cevicek of Portal Games. So here's what he had to say.
So for us, it's a huge difference between this year and the last year or even 2 years ago. Like, I see that Cry Havoc made a huge impact and now people recognize Portal Games. They're coming, asking for the first Martians like crazy, of course. Like, this is a huge difference for us. Like, no offense, but the last year or 2 years ago, it was quite boring show. No one was appearing for us. Like today, like, I've lost already voice. Yes, so you can hear it, like, amazing, super happy. And the pressure for the first Martians is even higher. Like, Stop it, guys. And what's happening, yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Number 16, Doctor Who Time Clash. Now, there seems to be several Doctor Who games on the horizon, and Doctor Who Time Clash pits the Doctor against the Daleks in a desperate struggle for the fate of the universe itself. Or in Doctor Who terms, a Wednesday. This game sounds like a tug of war, and is sure to be a tug at my wallet. Ugh, who wrote this? Number 15, Witches of the Revolution. Witches of the Revolution is a cooperative game in which players lead a patriotic coven of witches who are determined to see a fledgling nation achieve freedom from tyranny. It was that unusual mashup of themes that first caught my eye, and in the months to come, we'll find out if this game will truly be a revolution. Number 14, Roadhog Rule the Road. The publisher of Roadhog states that their game, quote, captures the rolling shark tank that is our modern highway system. Okay. To be honest, I just thought that all the little components really looked neat as I walked by the table. So that's really all I knew about the game at GAMA. But now that this game's got my attention, I'm curious to find out if Roadhog will be a game that turns frustration of the highway into fun, or fun into frustration. Number 13, Guild Ball. All right, to be honest, Blood Bowl, Chaos Ball, and Guild Ball all kind of blend together in my mind. However, I think Guild Ball is the one that stands out and tempts me the most out of all of them. In this tabletop medieval football war game, players coach a team to outscore their opponent while simultaneously working to achieve additional secret political objectives, which sounds kind of neat. What's more, the designs of some of the teams that they were showing off at GAMA really pushed Guild Ball a little further onto my radar. Number 12, Adapt. Adapt was this modest little game at GAMA that I kept coming across. It uses an experience-based drafting system to allow players to obtain a fish, upgrade that fish in various ways, and then battle all the other fish in the sea to the death, eventually leaving only one fish in a big pond. Now, does this little game actually pack a powerful punch, or is it all wet? Well, what I saw at GAMA left me curious to find out. Number 11, Red Dragon Inn. So, the Red Dragon Inn series of games has really actually never gotten my attention before. But I have to admit, seeing it all laid out on the table being played there at GAMA, there was something about its table presence that sparked my curiosity. I'm still not sure if I'm ready to rush out and buy a copy of it, but what I saw of Red Dragon Inn at GAMA did make me stop and look with renewed curiosity. Number 10, No Thank You Evil. Ever since I interviewed the designer of No Thank You Evil at GAMA last year, I've had a soft spot for this entry-level adventure and storytelling game. So it was really nice to see them at GAMA again this year, this time showing not only their finished product, but also the next game in the No Thank You Evil series as well. The designers of the game hesitate to use the word role-playing game when describing it, due to the stigma that can be associated with that phrase. But you know what? Whatever you call it, it's a creative activity to share with your kids that's still on my radar a year later. Number 9, Hanamakoji. The artwork in Hanamakoji caught my eye right off the bat as I was walking by the booth. In this game, which appears to have been recently brought over from Japan, 2 players compete to earn items essential to their victory while giving away less critical ones. I guess the real trick is determining which is which and doing it at the right time. Now, if Hanamakoji's quality of gameplay matches the quality of its artwork, it is definitely one that I want to track down and give a try. Number 8, Frog Riders. Frog Riders appears to be a tactical family-level game in which players collect figures by leapfrogging over them. Now, this may start out just sounding like a variation of checkers, but then the introduction of different player abilities and player privileges suggests that there's multiple strategies and tactical options available to the players for them to employ. And games that start out with just a basic concept, but then start adding layers and layers of ingenuity always catch my eye. So I'm hoping that Frog Riders will be one of them. Number 7, The Captain is Dead. While at GAMA, I got a chance to play a game of the new edition of The Captain is Dead, a co-op game for 2 to 7 players. Now, in this game, each player takes on a different role in the ship, such as being a medical officer or a security officer or even the janitor. And then all the players work together to keep the ship running and ward off alien attacks and everything else that goes wrong on the ship. In the game, there's a lot of things that come at your team to deal with, and I came away from the game wanting to give it another try. Number 6, Spoils of War. Spoils of War is a fast-paced and exciting game of bidding and wagering. Anytime a game opens the door to player bluffing, negotiations, and shenanigans, I am in. And based on the level of enthusiasm I saw while this game was being played at GAMA, I think it's only a matter of time before Spoils of War finds its way into my own board game treasure trove. Number 5, Rush and Bash. Rush and Bash is a fast-paced game about a crazy race set in the same world as games like Voodoo, Gods, and Super Fantasy. Now, I'm not familiar with any of those games, but I do like the idea of playing cards to launch missiles, drop bombs, make repairs, swerve into other lanes, and perform special abilities, all while you're racing around this track. Add in the fact that the board is made up of 12 modular tiles, each with a unique effect and obstacle, including 3D bridges and volcanoes, and all of that made it very tempting to burn rubber and grab a copy of Rush and Bash. Number 4, Castles of Caladale. In Castles of Caladale, players get to pick, lay, and rearrange tiles to construct a beautiful castle and rebuild the kingdom. Now, I first saw Castles of Caladale on display at BGGCon last November, where I had a chance to speak with its designer, David Wilkinson. But this was the first time that I got a chance to see the game being played out in the wild, and watching that sparked my interest in the game anew. Number 3, Wasteland Express. Now, I have been looking forward to Wasteland Express since first hearing about it last year at Origins. In Wasteland Express delivery service, players take on the role of drivers in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, buying, selling, and delivering the 3 staples of any post-apocalyptic society: food, water, and weapons. I got a chance to play a sample game of Wasteland Express at GAMA, and it did not disappoint. I do feel that I need to play it again a couple of times before I can really form a final opinion of it, but fortunately, my experience at GAMA left me still looking forward to doing so when the game is released a little later this year. Number 2, First Martians. My impromptu interview with Ignacy of Portal Games was featured earlier on this list, but I feel that their upcoming game, First Martians, deserves its own entry as well. One evening at GAMA, I had the opportunity to attend a seminar hosted by Portal Games in which they described the game, its app, and some of the surprises and special events that they have planned to coincide with the game. Now, I was already looking forward to the release of First Martians, but it was hearing about what they have planned to market and support the game with supplemental content that really got me excited about it. Rodney Smith, host of Watch It Played and friend of the show, was also in attendance at the seminar, and he recorded and posted a copy of it on his YouTube channel, Watch It Played. And if you are curious about First Martians, or especially if you're on the fence about it, I highly recommend watching Rodney's video to see what Portal has planned for this game. I'll add a link to Rodney's video in the description below, because what I saw during their presentation moved this game to the shortlist of games that I am anticipating this coming year. Number 1, Onitama Expansion. And finally, at GAMA, I got a chance to crack open the upcoming expansion for Onitama and check out each of the 16 new cards that it contains, including the panda, iguana, bear, fox, otter, giraffe, kirin, rat, phoenix, tanuki, mouse, viper, sea snake, turtle, dog, and sable. This expansion more than doubles the number of movement cards that were available with just the base game, introducing hundreds upon hundreds of variations for the game. This expands on an already stellar game and makes the cards from the upcoming Onitama expansion the #1 thing that caught my eye at GAMA. So there's my list, but even then, these 20 things still don't even begin to scratch the surface of all the games, components, news, and announcements from GAMA. So what I want to know is, what was your favorite thing that you've seen or heard about from the GAMA trade show? Let me know what yours are in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise. Thanks for watching, and take care.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
It's Rob! Woohoo!
Hey!
Ta-da!
Hi there. What's up?
Not much.
Good.
Are you on your way to somewhere?
I am.
Okay. Well, enjoy. It's been good talking to you.
Bye-bye.
And off goes Rob to his next meeting. Whither here, whither there.